Hey, what's up, everyone? Let me know when you're on if you can hear and see me, please. While we wait for our guest to show up, I'll go ahead and annoy some people. And this will give us a chance to get warmed up and get some folks on so we can get right to it once Nick gets on in just a minute or two. And let's see. Yeah. Okay. Sound is good. Thanks for coming live. John says, hope you're well. Hope you are as well. Fun fact about John, he is exactly 1 day younger than me. All right, look, Nick will be on in just a second. Let me go ahead and do some at everyone's and get some people upset at me.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Are we live?
We are. I went ahead and started so people could start getting on. And plus, we screwed the time up so badly. So,
No worries. I mean, that was my fault, right?
no, that was my fault. I said 5 o'clock and we had said 4. So,
Gotcha. I'm hearing a little echo on your end, I think.
yeah, it's my setup here is not great. So,
Okay. Gotcha.
there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately.
No worries. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
I know you're in Hawaii, so it's like in the past still.
Yes. I'm in the past. You were in the future.
I won't tell you what happens. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. Except if you have some winning Powerball numbers, I'll take those.
Yeah, for sure. On a serious note, though, I don't know exactly where you live, but how was everything? I know there was some problems in Hawaii recently, so.
Yeah. So fires in Maui. I actually live in Maui. The fires they got about a mile away from my house and our office, and the majority of the damage was done on the west side, and we had a lot of clients over there. So, on the agency side of things, for people that don't know me, like I have an agency, we do digital marketing here in Hawaii. We got a lot of clients, and then obviously I have another business where we teach people how to build an agency. But on the agency side of things, man, we lost, I don't know, 20 clients, 20 monthly clients. Yeah. And so we went from, we had about 60 clients at the time, lost about 20 right now.
Oh, that's terrible.
Pretty
I mean,
massive.
for them too, and for more really, but.
Yeah. No, it's a total devastation, with everything going on here and for a lot of the businesses. And, these are activity companies that no longer have boats. We have a restaurant that no longer has a place of business.
Oh,
Pest control company that lost 79 clients that they come every month to do pest control services, stuff like that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of damage just beyond the damage, So it's
A lot of residuals, a lot of ripple effect going on, and will be for the foreseeable future. The thing that we have going for us is we have been actively getting clients outside of just Maui. So we have on the outer islands as well. So the rest of our clients that we still have are still on the outer islands, which is nice.
It's good. It's good, at least for you guys. So.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you this. I thought we were going to hang out before, but like I have kind of like a PDF that we put together about dealing with disaster in the business and how we went about it, and we gave to our people. It's up to you. I'll let you decide if you want me to give that.
I think that would apply to a lot of people. Like, I know it's been a few years now, but that's kind of a similar thing we all had with COVID a few years ago too. But everything changed. So
totally, and you never know what or when can happen. And COVID was a black swan event. We were like, okay, that'll never happen again. And here we are with Maui. I mean, for us, it is like round 2, and it's even worse than COVID for us at least. And you just never know what can happen. And so, every time it's happened thus far, we've been flying by the seat of our pants, trying to, adjust and make changes and keep things going. And, I put what we've done together in a document so that people might find some value. I mean, especially agency owners. I know a lot of your people are freelancers, agency owners, but the way that we went about keeping things going, and what our plan is in the future and how do we pivot and adjust. So I'll send that to you. I mean, I can drop it at the end of this, or I can send it to you and you can.
Yeah, just send it to me and I'll get it out to everybody later.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess what we should do now is can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you do in case there's anybody that's not familiar?
Yeah. So, like I said, I own a digital marketing agency out in Hawaii. If you Google Hawaii SEO, we're the #1 agency. We get a lot of clients that find us organically, but we also have a lot of client getting methods. And so we sell Google Ads, SEO, websites, reputation marketing, and social media management. And so right now, actually, can I share my screen?
Yeah, if you click present.
There it is. Yep. So I actually put together a couple slides and stuff just for topics.
Go for it.
That we can wrap on, because I figured this would just be like an impromptu way of show people like kind of what's going on in my agency and how we work together, because obviously anybody that you're working with would find value in how our agency is probably applying these services.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. So our agency is called Ponte Marketing. I just logged into this Square, and I know it's kind of lame, but just to kind of qualify my agency, we're at around, in just Square, this is just agency revenue, we're at around 70,000 per month. Last month, this was at 120,000, and this is like recurring residual, but we have dropped everything higher. And so, like I said, about 20 clients, that's what you're seeing in difference there. But anyway, I just show you this because at this level, what we're doing, anything that I speak on or talk about is what I'm doing at this level. And I think it's important to know that, or make note of that, because if you're 0 to 6 figures, you might be running your business differently. You might have different questions than someone that has 10 to 20 clients, or making multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures. But the thing that I would add to that is that regardless of if they're at 6 figures or whatever, the way that I've grown my agency is I started at 0, and I didn't have any starting capital or anything like that. And, really was just grassroots, talking to people, going to networking meetings, going to WordPress meetups, prospecting online, trying to find ways to help people, asking for a referral from every single person that I did anything for. And then, sharing all that on social media as much as I could to try to gain traction. So that's kind of our agency and where we're at right now.
Awesome. Yeah, the sharing on social media, I think, is one that not enough people do. For whatever reason, this industry attracts a lot of reserved people, like a lot of introverts, and they don't want to share their stories and stuff. So I think that's something that I'm always screaming to do YouTube, because I get leads from videos I made in 2016, still today. Yeah. So anyway.
I agree. I think it's something that is really overlooked. And I did that a lot in the beginning. And the thing that I can speak to about that is when I first started my agency, I was afraid to talk about it online. I was afraid to talk about what I was doing. And I think it was because, if I'm being completely transparent, I cared about what other people thought. And I didn't want people to, and I know that people relate to this because I've talked about it before, but I didn't want people see me starting my business brand new, not successful, not doing well, just at 0, and I think that fear of people judging you or being like, oh, look at this guy, he's doing this thing now, or whatever. I think that stops a lot of people from actually starting, because I probably would have started a lot sooner talking about what I was doing. And when I say talking about what I was doing, I mean, if I build a website for somebody, go to Facebook and be like, look at this awesome website I built. Do you know somebody that would need it? Let me know. I'm building them now. I have a deal going on, or something like that. Something super basic.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that are like afraid to do that, and I don't get it. I remember I used to do that, and like was friends with, because I still had a day job at the time, and I was friends with like some of the managers there, so I would like create Facebook lists to like so they couldn't see it, and then like the rest of my friends would, because I didn't want to get in trouble for like
prospecting on the clock.
Yeah, basically for not doing my job while I was there. I don't know if there's anything you can do, but a couple people are saying that like they're hearing your voice twice. I don't know.
Oh, that's what I mean. The echo I hear on your end. That's your setup.
Interesting. Because I'm not hearing it, and they're saying it's only when you speak.
I agree. I hear my voice on your end too.
Interesting.
Do you have two audio setups by chance?
No, I mean this is the one I always use. Let me see if that helps any. If not, then I don't really know what else to do.
Do you have headphones?
I'm not handy, no.
Let me try and put it on my head.
Yes, guys, we get that there's an echo. Like we don't need more people to keep telling us that. We're working on it. Let me see if I. Oh, it looks like he dropped off. He should be back momentarily. All right. Well, in the meantime, why don't you tell me if there is still an echo until Nick gets back on with us, and we'll get back into it as soon as he jumps back on. Can you guys still hear me? I'm okay. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, he'll be back on in just a second. All right. Yeah, okay. We got it. Thank you. There we go. Good. I was not stalling well.
No worries.
All right.
Yeah, so there's in the audio section, there's an echo cancellation check. Do you see that?
All right. Yeah, we'll try that.
If
that doesn't help, guys, we're gonna have to move on. So
I think that's good.
Okay, cool. All right, I forgot where we were.
We were talking about sharing on social media, posting, getting clients, why people don't.
I think it's for whatever reason that this industry attracts like a lot of introverted people that just don't want to do that. Like they don't want to get on camera, they don't want to be exposed. I somewhat get it, but I think you got to get over that sort of thing if you want to succeed.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a good question to ask everybody here. Like, what are you struggling with in your agency right now? Is it because that is on the client getting side, but a lot of people, they might be struggling on the operation side or the fulfillment side, or I'm not really sure. I can if you'd like, I can pull up kind of like the breakdown of how our agency is set up in department wise.
Yeah, I think people would like that.
Okay. And that could be a good way for anybody that has any questions to throw them in the chat.
Jacqueline says, I don't post enough on social media. I have 2 websites just built, so I'll post about them. Good. Jacqueline, by the way, made the thumbnail that we ended up using as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Jackie, I know Jackie well. Jackie's awesome. Okay, let's see. Can I?
Oh, yeah, I have to add it to the stream.
Cool. So these are slides. I was creating a training the other day for new team members that join our agency. Just kind of like bring them up to speed and let them know how our agency runs, because I don't know if you guys can relate to this. Every time we hire somebody, I feel like I have to go in Zoom or Slack and I have to teach them all about the agency. Like, what services we offer, who does what departments we have, how things are set up and run. Does anybody have that experience? It's pretty annoying to keep on having to do it over and over again. And so, yeah. And so this is just a way that I, systemized it, and I created some slides, shot some videos, shared the training with any new member of our team. And so in doing so, I have these kind of leftover slides where I thought it would be, I can give you guys some value and show you how we're kind of set up. So this is like the org chart of our agency, and I call it a accountability chart more than an org chart. These are just kind of the different lanes, if you will, of our business. And so, you can see that at the top we have our CEO, below that COO. And if you're, 0 to 5,000 a month, you might be doing all these things yourself right now, but eventually you'll want to hire some people to take over these different wheelhouses, these different lanes, these different departments. And so, CEO, that's me right now. We have an operations person who reports right below me. And then we have these 4 main departments here, which are sales and marketing, project management, which is the production side. This is all the fulfillment, anything related to fulfilling and delivering services. Account management, this is anything to do with, talking to our clients, retention, helping them get their campaigns going live. And then we have like an admin assistant and, a bookkeeper or CPA. And so those are the 4 main departments. Now, each department will have under them, a web developer or project manager will have a web developer, PPC expert, SEO specialist, that are all contractors and freelancers that all work with our project management team. And now the communication really all goes up, right, from the bottom. So if you're a web developer, you're accountable to the project manager. The project manager is accountable to the operations person. And that's how conversations, action steps, accountability flows through our agency and how we actually get stuff done. Does that kind of make sense, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. It's similar to ours. I don't really have one for the agency side, but we have something like this at Legit. So it's helpful.
Nice. Do you have more departments, or do you have like kind of the 4 main ones like that?
We have like development is a big part of ours. And then we have, what do we have? We have support is a big one. And then like sales and marketing and something else that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head.
Yeah. Gotcha. And did you always have this did you already have some clarity around this? Do you always have clarity on this? Like some people start out with like an entire business plan just worked out before they actually take action. That was not me.
No, that's not.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of grew into this, and it evolved. Like it used to be when I first started, my first person that I hired was a web developer. Like I was trying to help people with their website. I sold a website and then started trying to get more website clients. And then eventually was like, and I've heard that you can outsource building websites, and maybe I can find somebody to help me do that. And so then I had one web developer, and then I hired a content writer, and that content writer began to help me with dealing with clients and project management. So I started teaching the people on my team to try to help me with other things. And that's kind of how it progressed.
Yeah. Having them be versatile is very important.
Yeah. I think a lot of people overlook that too, where, if you work really well with somebody that's like a VA or a web developer or a content writer, and you need somebody else to help you with something else, a lot of people think that the first thing they should do is just go post for a job online, where a lot of people overlook their current network, their current contact list.
Yeah. I mean, we've promoted from within more than we have like filled a position with someone, someone that would start as just like an assistant or something that does a lot more now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tala, SEO expert, says, what should be our first step to create an agency?
I think you should go out there and start talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think is the most important, because it's counterintuitive to think that you should go get a client before you figure out how to do everything that you're going to do for a client, Yeah. But in the space that we're in, especially if you're following Chris, you have access to Legit. Like if you got an SEO client right now and you knew nothing about SEO, you could easily deliver on that service with
Yeah.
stuff that you can get from legit.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about the business model that we are all in, everybody, is that we get paid up front for the work that we do.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of industries where you can do that. And when you are in an industry where you can bill ahead of the service, and what I mean by that is I can go out right now and find an SEO client and have them pay me $1,000, and
Yeah.
I'll collect the money, and then I'll take a portion of that, and then I'll go hire someone to do the SEO work. I mean, do I really even need to know how to do SEO?
No. I mean, you should probably learn enough to where you
Should.
can talk about it intelligently.
For
But
sure.
yeah, you don't need to be the one in there building links and optimizing H1 tags and interlinking and all that other stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with knowing it too, but
Yeah, no, I 1000% agree that you should have a base level understanding and, know enough to be dangerous, or actually what it really is know enough to be able to manage somebody that knows what they're doing.
yeah,
So,
you need to be able to verify that the person that you bought from did what you asked them to and knows what they're doing and that sort of thing. And plus, you'll just be better at selling if you know what you're talking about. So,
right, exactly. Yeah, it's going to help you in everything you do better understand whatever it is
right.
you are doing. But to his point, my first step would be to get your first client. Go out there and get your first client, and the easiest way to do that is start having conversations, phone call, text, DM, email. The more people you speak with, the more opportunities that you're going to have to close a deal and bring in some cash. But until you generate some sort of cash flow, you're not really doing anything. So that is like the most important thing that you do. And in our community, the way that we kind of break that down and systemize it and stay on task is every single day we focus on doing what we call RPAs, revenue producing activities. So a lot of people, including myself, will log online and start checking email, end up on social media, or look for something on YouTube to, better help an SEO campaign, and see a thumbnail for something controversial in the corner. And next thing I know, we're down a rabbit hole for an hour looking at flat earther videos or something, right?
Yeah. There's even things that feel like their work that really aren't.
Yeah.
Too. Like a lot of reports.
Busy work.
Yeah. It's easy to start up and stuff.
It makes you feel like you're getting shit done, but you're not really getting anything done.
Exactly.
Anybody relate to that?
I certainly do.
Yeah. And it's a constant battle, every single day, being like, and you fall off the rails. Sometimes you fall off the rails completely, and you're stuck in it for 3 days or 4 days, and you're just lazy, and you're like, I can't get off of this, or I can't stop playing this video game, or I can't stop watching TV, or whatever it is. You have to somehow recalibrate and come back. And so we focus on RPAs, revenue producing activities. And Michael says constant battle. Absolutely relate. Revenue producing activities are the things that will move the revenue needle in your business every single day. So reaching out to people, sending emails, looking for people and building a list that could possibly purchase something from you. If you focus your efforts on those things and really prioritize those things, and maybe even write down like 3 different RPAs that you can do, and then break up your day and just do that, I promise you, you will get more clients.
Yep.
But if you don't do those things, the other thing I can promise you is that you will not get any clients.
Yep. Yeah. Even if it's like doing the fulfillment, you shouldn't be doing that I used to work in politics, and what we called the daytime was like part of the shift was call time. And that was the time when you're supposed to be calling volunteers and people that you're trying to get. So if you're spending that time doing your fulfillment, you're doing it wrong. Like your business hours should be for getting more business. And then if you still in a stage when you have to do the fulfillment yourself, then you do that at night, and you just don't sleep because you haven't earned the right to have like work-life balance yet. So.
Yeah. And there's definitely something to be said, like, for being in the beginning and just like having to grind it out and work, in the beginning. I think a lot of people get stuck in this mindset of like, they see ads, they see clickbait, they see people talking about, making all this money or having huge paramount peaks of success in only 2 weeks or in only 30 days or, and just being brand new. But like, man, it's so not true, and I think people get bought into this idea of like, they can become rich or wealthy or successful without having to do anything.
Right.
And it's going to take work, like no matter what way you look at it, but you can do things to make the work a lot easier and give you an edge where it feels like you have a cheat code, but no matter what, you're going to have to actually do something.
Okay. Robert says, I'm trying to pivot from affiliate SEO only to taking on some retainer clients, but getting people to talk to me is tough.
Yeah. So, I know what you're talking about. I can totally relate to that. And it's a common topic that we see all the time. And you said it right there. Getting people to talk to me is tough. Yeah. So having an easy way to have conversations with people that's not salesy, especially if you're not a salesperson like me, like I'm not a salesperson. You can find easy ways to have conversations with people. So here, I'll give you an example of one of the easy ways that we do it. Let me pull up my screen again. Let me see here. So, and you got to get creative, like if you're walking down the sidewalk in whatever neighborhood or city you live in, and you're stopping people on the street and you're like, hey, you want to buy this website? It's $8,000. You're going to get a lot of bad responses, so you have to be creative, when you're stopping people. When you're working online, it's the same thing. It's you're stopping people and you're getting their attention. That's cold prospecting, And so one of the things that we do is we have like a what we call a community resource website. This is one of ours. And we have these business listings, all these pins that you see on this map. These are all businesses in Hawaii. You're looking at the map of Hawaii here. If I click on the pins, you see these different businesses. And so one of our ways that we get clients is we go out and we give these listings to people to start a conversation. We're like, hey, Windward Equipment and Rentals, we've given you some free advertising on our website. Just want to confirm we have the correct information. And when we tell them that, send them the link to our website, they're like, oh crap, oh thank you, and they ask questions. And that way you're not starting with the sale up front. You're starting with the relationship building up front. And so if you can transition from everybody wants to just go for the sale immediately, just go for the throat. It takes a longer, this is the big takeaway. When you're stopping people in the streets and you're doing cold prospecting, the buying cycle is a little bit longer. So you have to look a little further ahead than being like, hey, I sent 3 emails and nobody bought. Or I talked to 8 people yesterday and nobody bought. Well, it's not, I talked to 8 people. It's like, I talked to 8 people yesterday and I've been following up with them for 8 weeks and now they bought. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. I think that people don't do enough volume too. Like I'll talk to somebody and they're like, yeah, I talked to 10 people this week. I was like, why didn't you talk to 100? Like you can talk, you know what I mean? Like maybe 100's extreme, but law of averages, you're only going to get better at it. The more you do it, the more iterations of it you do. It's like working out and getting progressive over it. You're going to get stronger the more times you do it, even if you do it at the same rate. But I'll talk to people and they're like, yeah, I talked to 3 or 4, and then you're not trying hard enough, if you're not getting there. And I'm not saying that's Robert, but I think that people don't put in enough volume too.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you're doing cold prospecting, the volume really does matter. And not only does the volume matter, the quality matters. It's not just the 1,000 emails, because you can send 1,000 shitty emails and you're not going to get anywhere. So if you're doing emails, they have to be the right emails, 1,000 good emails that are targeted and specific for people. My mindset that I teach everybody on our team is that if you're doing emails, and we have a cold email process that we use that is in conjunction with what I've kind of showed you with that community site that gets traction. Like we get responses, and the emails that we need to be sending out with that information should be, you have to put yourself in the mindset of the person receiving them. And you have to ask yourself, is this an email that I would even answer? You want to make your emails look like they're coming or going to a friend of yours. That's what you open up in your email inbox, messages from a friend. I see Chris's email subject lines all the time. I open those, because he does a great job with those subject lines. They look like they're coming from a friend. And that's a great way to kind of frame your mindset when you're sending out emails or even DMs, or prospecting, whatever it is.
I saw one last week that it was a bit clickbaitier than I like to be. It was like transaction failed was the subject line, and
that was a great one.
That was the highest open rate we've gotten all year. It also got the most unsubscribes we've gotten all year, but
Well, yeah, and you're not going to be able to make everybody happy. I mean,
if you're going to do cold outreach, you need to be prepared to get told to go fuck yourself, because people are going to say that.
And it's okay if people unsubscribe too. That's another thing that you have to learn, is that like in the beginning you're like, man, we got 3 unsubscribes. You're like, why are they leaving? The people that don't want to hear your message aren't going to be on your list, but you don't want to be sending those people emails anyway. So why should they be on your list?
It's important to remember that numbers are people. And what I mean by that is like, you got a high open rate, but maybe they're not the right people opening it. Like you have to think about not just having a good number, but the right people. So like two, like you said, 1,000 shitty emails doesn't matter as much as 100 quality ones would.
Right.
So
exactly.
And Denise says, what's the best time to open an agency? When we are making 1,000 or 10,000? How about when you're making 0? That's probably the best time, right?
The best time was yesterday.
Cash flow. Yeah. The best time was yesterday. The second best time is now.
Right.
Brilliant. Let money work for you. Hell yeah, constant battle. Jacqueline says, I need to call more people and I make too many excuses. We all do.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, legit. Thank you. Must be a gift. What's the most successful strategy for you to grab clients? Freelance marketplace, social media, email marketing, in start or currently?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good question. Everybody asks this one, or if you had to start all over again with nothing, what would you do? That's the other very common one that we get. My suggestion, because I have a lot of client getting methods that work, plenty of them. Cold email, cold calling, direct mail, software, lead reports, opt-ins. I have Facebook funnels that I can turn on and get leads right away. There's so many different things that work a lot. There are a lot, and there's never ending ways to go out there and get clients. But when somebody is at like the pre-contemplation stage of, should I do this? I'm thinking about doing this. I think I can do this. And picking your method, it's number one, you need to make sure whatever method you are following is from someone that's credible and is actually doing that. There's a lot of, fake people out there that don't have an agency, that are telling you to start an agency and saying that you should go do this, which is something that worked 10 years ago. So whatever you do, make sure that you are following a credible source. The way that I find and make sure people are credible is I look them up and I do my research. I see a lot of ads for people that advertise, we will build a done-for-you agency for you, but those people don't have an agency. So how could they really build an agency if they don't even know? I mean, I don't think they know if they don't have an actual agency, so I wouldn't pay somebody to do that. So you have to have the information that you're following to be trustworthy and credible. And I know this because back in the day, before I got into teaching people what I'm doing, I would buy courses, and tell me if you can relate to this. I would buy a course, think I got this, this holy grail, this golden goose that's going to make me tons of money, and start this process only to find out that this was something that was old, it was rehashed, it doesn't work anymore. There was an update to Google's interface, it's outdated, but they're still selling it like it's this brand new hot thing. Yeah. And I just wasted 2 weeks and whatever, $500. That happens all the time to people. And it could be avoided if they just do a little research on whoever or whatever it is that they're looking for. So number one, make sure your source is credible. And then number two, which is the main point of your question, main answer to your point or of your question, is I would do whatever strategy that you find yourself with an inclination to actually follow through. If you are not good at getting in front of the camera and making videos, I don't recommend you go buy somebody's YouTube strategy to go get clients, because you're going to wake up every day and you're going to hate making those videos. And that is not where you want to be. So if it's hiding behind the camera and using your words and emails, then maybe it's probably email marketing. You know, I would ask myself, what is it that I am cool with doing? What do I like doing? What am I okay with doing? And also, what am I good at doing? What am I interested in doing? And I would choose the method that you are most interested in, that you could wake up every single morning, every single day, and do it without having, with as little resistance as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say to try all of them and figure out which ones you like and stick with those. Because again, first of all, there's no point in starting a business if you're just going to make yourself miserable like you were when you had a job. Not that everyone that has a job is miserable. Hopefully, my employees aren't. But but also like you're not going to want to do stuff that you don't like to do. You can only fight that for so long. Like I tried to do TikTok for a while, and it's just that's, as the kids say, not me. So, yeah. So, yeah, I agree with what you say. It's basically the moral there.
Yeah.
Somebody says new. Somebody says hello from Bangladesh. Somebody says they read that one. We're caught up on questions. We've talked mostly about like clients and client getting, but the other side of that is like fulfilling and getting the work done for people, because that's an important piece of it too. Like, how do you do that at scale? Like, how do you said you had some 60 clients before things happened. How can you like manage all of those people and make sure everything gets done for them and get the work done?
Yeah. So it's been an ongoing process. It continues to evolve with more client, when I had 5 clients, the process was very different than when I had 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 and 60, and now back to, 40. The process evolves and changes. But what I did in the beginning was I tried, as I seen all of the silver bullets, I seen everything out there. The most promising was a completely white label agency that would do everything, like even the client communication and the fulfillment and, everything. And so I tried all those. I didn't ever find one that really worked well. There were so many things that were lost in communication. They would change our point of contact all the time. What ended up happening is at the end of the day, I would be pissed off, or my clients would be pissed off because they weren't getting what they paid for. And I was just in between, like, I don't know what to do, So I tried all that, all the stuff that was like the quickest, fast food type stuff that you see on the shelf, all the desserts and all the good looking things. None of them worked. So I started hiring freelancers to, I learned a process for SEO. I learned a process for ads, learned a process for building websites. And then I started hiring people to help me do those processes. And so still till this day, I have a version of that where we have specialists, freelancer specialists that work within our agency. So I'll break down SEO because I know a lot of people you're into like SEO. So, going back to our org chart that I showed you, right? We have a project manager, an account manager, and then we have a web developer, an ad specialist, an SEO specialist, and a content writer in that team. That's called a pod. And so that pod can handle 30 clients. And so the project manager will help make sure that 30 clients all have their campaigns going and running. And, for like search engine optimization, obviously in the initial month, we do a lot of on-page SEO. And so we have a standard operating procedure on how to do our on-page SEO month 1. Our SEO expert will implement that. Our project manager will make sure that person's doing a good job. And when they're done, they'll review it. That's how we keep our quality checks in place. And we have our content writer, or however we're creating content, sometimes AI, we will create and have that written and put it on a site. And then we will purchase all of our off-page signals. So, and I was actually looking at this, Chris. I don't know. Are you able to look at analytics for individual? Are we called? If somebody buys something from Legit, are we a vendor? No, we're a customer, right?
Right. I can bring up your account if that's what you're talking about. You
can.
Yeah, or if you want to bring it up, you can bring up yours.
Yeah, I'll bring it. I don't even want to know how much money I've sent you. I was looking at the, because my team does all this, right? My team comes in here and purchases. So when we do SEO, we have clients that have SEO. We buy a lot of signals from you guys. And I mean, I didn't really even look at this too closely, but we're sending thousands of dollars a month to you guys mostly for links, lots of different links, lots of signals. Occasionally we'll try, like recently we tried like Google authority stacking, like different things to add authority and relevance and stuff like that. But yeah, for all of the signals, we go to like, services that you have. And so that's kind of our fulfillment stack. Is that what you see a lot of the time too? Or do you see people doing all inclusive? Like, cause I know you guys have a lot of vendors that sell packages too, SEO packages.
So one thing that you said that is important is you said that you had a process first, and then you plug the freelancers in to do the tasks of that process. Right. That's where I see a lot of our customers drop the ball, to be honest, is what they'll do is they'll just like, okay, I'm going to go buy one of those and one of those and one of those. And then it doesn't necessarily make any sense what they're buying. They're just like picking a few things off a menu, like a Chinese restaurant where you buy one of those, one of those, one of those. And then they get mad at the site because they didn't get results because they bought a bunch of things without a plan. So it's important to remember that having the plan and then using people to execute the plan is the best strategy for using those. But yeah, we have people that do both. We have people that just buy, a thing here and a thing there, and like from a bunch of different people. We have people that are absolutely loyal to one person. So there's different ways you can go about it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you think some more, because I mean, you have so many people that are into SEO and selling it and taking advantage of the services that you guys offer. What's the more common route to like have an actual freelancer team with systems and then purchasing signals, or is it more common for somebody to buy a monthly Google Maps package, or is that kind of?
I find that people like to do I guess for lack of a better term, the a la carte method, where they'll like buy 4 or 5 different services per month or maybe more than that, but per month per client, and kind of plug them in together. I mean, there are the white label packages. I have one that's fairly successful. Freddie Edmonds has one that's really successful, and a few others. There's less of those than there are the people buying individuals and like plugging it into their process.
Yeah, gotcha. So I have a question for you that is like, I've been thinking about a lot lately, which is, Google's introduction to AI and search. What are your thoughts on that? Did you see that webinar they did the other day about SGE and how they're about to kick things off?
Not really. If it makes the search results better, I'm all for it, because I find it harder and harder to get information that I want when I do a Google search. So there's that. I don't know. I don't like making predictions because it's just guesswork. I think they need to do something, because I really feel like they're stagnating a lot. Like the results are terrible now. It's like Outlook India ranks for literally everything.
It does. What's up with that? Yeah. I need to get an Outlook India press release going.
You can get those on legit, just saying.
Yeah.
But I think that, and then like, here's an example. Earlier today, I was Googling how to bulk delete pictures from your Instagram. And all of the results were how to delete pictures individually. Like, it's gotten really bad at understanding language. I feel like it's regressed. So I'm hoping that AI will improve that. And then we as SEOs can pivot and improve our content to be more natural language. But I don't know. I'm not going to predict, but that's what I would like to see happen with it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think so? I agree. I would like to see that too. To implement that, do you think that there will be an entirely separate algorithm to rank for those types of results? Because like what I've seen, what they've released publicly, which is some actual imagery, video, some slides, some things where you do a search, how to bulk delete Instagram images, and before the ads, there's like an AI.
Yeah.
You seen that?
Yeah, I get that when I Google now.
You get it now?
Yeah.
I don't get that now.
I think it's still being like rolled out. But yeah, I get that like a week or two ago.
Okay, so are there any early indicators on how to influence that? Or do you think it'll be an entirely separate tactic?
For now, I think it is separate. I don't see how that's not the way they end up going, though.
Yeah.
Because like that's the ultimately what would make Chat GPT even more amazing is if it could use like actual like up to date information.
Right.
And it can't. But once it can, I think it'll be unstoppable. Because like I say, like Google has gotten either other things have gotten better and I've just made it feels worse, or it has literally gotten worse at understanding what people are looking for. That's probably partly our fault as SEOs, but
yeah, I agree. But the reason I asked that question is because like I mean I think it is going that direction. You already said that they're split testing it for you.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I see that as a huge opportunity for anybody that is in digital marketing and in search engine optimization to be like, number one, all of our existing clients, I mean, you could pretty much sell them an entirely new service. It's like blue ocean. It's complete open water, no competition. Like if you go to as soon as that really rolls out and you can show it to people and you can go to your existing clients and be like, look, AI is happening now. When people search for Maui Roofing Company, yeah, we've been optimizing you. You're number one. But look, now you have this new AI pack results. If you want to be here, we're offering this new service that'll get you there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if that can be done, you should definitely figure it out because that's always more value you can add to people. It's easier to sell your existing.
Yeah. That's going to happen. It has to happen, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Either that or that just becomes the entire SERP, which is probably where it'll eventually go. But yeah, I mean, it's easier to sell to existing clients anyway, so that's a great idea.
Well, even past clients, this solves a problem for a lot of people that are really big into search engine optimization that has, who here has had this experience? I certainly have, and I'm sure Chris has, where we get somebody to number one for something and eventually they're like, okay, we're going to stop paying for this. We're already at number one. Yeah. But now you can go back to all those people that you got to number one and be like, hey, you're not
even above the fold anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the great thing about that is they already know that you're credible and that you're good at what you do because you've gotten them to number one. I think that's all huge amounts of low-hanging fruit for anybody that's been doing SEO for a while.
Yeah. You just got to figure out how to do it. And it's probably not there.
Yeah. So if anybody has any early indicators, I know Chris has a huge community of people that are like, white hat, black hat, gray hat, red hat. They're just doing all kinds of crazy shit. Early indicators on how to do that stuff. I'm definitely looking to be in the forefront of that. So keep me posted on it if you know something or you see something or you're trying some new stuff out and it's working well.
All right. Let's see. We got a couple more questions. Anise says, as you told, we need to follow up those 8 companies people for 8 weeks to close them, but most people are ignoring us. So what's the best strategy in that case? Did you use copywriting techniques or a portfolio? I guess what he's saying is how do you get people to pay attention when you're continuing to follow up?
Yeah. So when you're doing your prospecting and looking for people, what I like to try to do is come from the mindset of solving problems for them, building value, and building trust. So if you find a business that you think is a good prospect, that means you found their contact information, so you know how to contact them through the mediums that you want, either email, phone, SMS, whatever. You've identified that they probably have the money to pay you. One of the ways that you can do this is if you see somebody that is actually running Google ads, you can see that, well, if they're running Google ads, then they clearly have some sort of a marketing budget. So you don't need to convince them that they need to invest in marketing. They already know they need to invest in marketing because they're already running Google ads. So they already have that mindset and that concept already there as well. And so if you have, good contact information, they have a marketing budget. Now, all you need to do is do some research on their business and find areas that you can help, areas that they're missing, problems that they have, and offer to solve those problems. Maybe not even asking for money up front, being like, hey, business, I saw that on this page, your map was broken. I can fix that for you. Or your contact form is broken. I can fix that for you. Or I went to this page and your website is loading really slow. I offer and specialize in speeding up websites. I'd be willing to do that for free just to build trust or, start a relationship with you and show you some other ways that I can add value. And so when you're doing cold prospecting, it's not just following up with 8 people for 8 weeks. I use that kind of figuratively. During those 8 weeks, what you should be looking at is trying to solve problems for them, trying to add value to them and build trust so that if they have an issue, they're like, oh, I know a guy. You're the first person that comes to mind when they think about solving this problem, wanting to reinvest into marketing, or because you're having an open line of communication back and forth with them, the next easiest logical step, because now that you've fixed their website, is to bring more traffic to their website or something along those lines. So it's really getting in that mindset of nurturing that relationship, providing value, and solving problems as much as you can.
Remembering that there's a human being on the other side of it, and it's not just a number, like I was saying before. People like get desensitized because we're behind a screen all the time, I think.
So. Really do. You know, a lot of people are like, I got this list. Yeah. I got this list. And all they think about it is being a list. It's like, I got this list. It's like a video game. I got this list and I'm dropping in some sprinkles and I'm trying to get someone to respond, and they're not responding, but they don't think about the user experience, the person that's, you know, at their office desk in a CPA firm that receives the email, that sees what you just sent them is fucking spam. You know, they're never going to open it, but you have to like get in that mindset of who that person is and really try to create a marketing experience or an experience that they're going to want to open and interact with that.
It's just it's a little off topic, but one thing that I see people screw up when they do cold email a lot is immediately start talking about themselves. Like, hi, I'm Nick, and I'm great at SEO, and I can get you ranked on Google, and I can get you. By that time, they've hung up. Not a little, you know, figuratively speaking, hung up, because nobody cares about you. I actually, it's not open for sale anymore, but in Superstar SEO Academy, I had a sales training lesson called "No One Cares About You," and it was teaching me exactly that you need to start with something that's important to them right away. Otherwise, they're going to close the email because nobody gives a shit about your qualifications, especially when you interrupted their day. So, probably get it out there. Tala SEO Expert says, thank you for your awesome advice. I'm gearing up to launch my agency soon, and guess what? We're going to be streaming live just like Chris on an espresso line. That's good to know. Fun fact is I'm allergic to espresso and coffee in general. So,
are you really?
Yeah. So,
does it just make you jacked?
It's not even caffeine. Like I can drink like energy drinks, but coffee gives me chest pain.
Oh wow. Yeah. Man. But you're all good with like the Bangs, the Red Bulls, the Reigns, all those.
I stay away from those for other reasons as much as I can. But yeah, and it's not caffeine, it's specific to coffee. It's very bizarre. But,
hey, you know what I've been enjoying a lot lately, and I don't know if people have tried this, but it's called mate. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
So it's a and I'm not even like woo-woo guy or anything like that, but it's a tea from the Amazon rainforest, and it's like it tastes a little different than a green tea, but man, it's freaking good. And you know, I cold brew it, no sugar, no nothing, just straight tea, and it tastes like iced tea, but nice amounts of caffeine levels that are very clean. Like there's a notable difference between Red Bull, coffee, all that stuff, and the mate, the energy for mate. It's like refreshing and hydrating. And so I usually drink a cup of coffee in the morning and then a cup of coffee for the 2 p.m. crawl. But I've replaced the 2 p.m. crawl with the mate, and I don't know, man. I like it. So
I'll have to check it out.
Try it out.
Jacqueline says, "Can you show me an example of the new type of listing you're talking about, Nick? I don't think I'm seeing there yet in UK, but I might have missed them."
Yeah, so it's not so much a listing; it's like search results, right?
If you're not getting it, I can show mine.
Yeah, I actually have one here.
Okay.
Google's overview of SGE. So they have a couple documents that they've released, and this is a PDF that I can give to Chris too. I can put it. All right, you throw that up there.
Yeah.
So here's an example. What's better for a family with kids under 3? And then this box pops up, and this box is, you've never seen that box before with recommendations.
Yeah.
And I think there's actually a couple of other.
It's actually kind of annoying because like it loads a few seconds after the page. So like you're like reading something and that'll load and it'll push the page down.
Really?
Yeah.
There's also this webinar that was released. Here, I can put these in the chat real quick.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't.
Oh, you should be able to.
It's asking me to. Is this just on YouTube?
It's on YouTube and Facebook. I see it here in the private chat. I'll just add it.
Okay. Yeah. There's that one, and then there's this one. Yeah. Yeah, so I recommend going through this PDF here and checking out what Google released on SGE is what they're calling it. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Terrible name.
It is, right?
It doesn't tell you anything about what that does.
No, it's. I actually think. I think the name is so bad, and I think Google is pretty horrible at coming up with names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this webinar here, Jackie, is pretty helpful. You can see a lot of these results here as well. But yeah, Google's like, Google Plus. They renamed Google Plus like 50 times. I think they're going to replace SGE because it just doesn't even make any sense either.
Yeah. Branding in general, they're just not very good at.
No, I mean, Google is the biggest brand out there now, but like in the beginning, it was kind of weird, right?
Yeah. All right, let's see. Anise says, amazing answer. So I was looking to follow up, provide them solution to definitely. Okay, great. Nice. 2 to 5 out of 8 is a fantastic ratio.
Yeah.
Something we have in common. I can't drink coffee either. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm not reading that. What is the single most effective course with offline sharks to build a base of SEO clients? You've been very nice and not tried to talk about offline sharks much, but you want to give some people some info on that?
Yeah. So, I mean, Offline Sharks is just the company that we have where we teach people how to build an agency. And we have, like I mentioned in the beginning of this, like we have strategies, email marketing, community research. We have lots of different strategies that work. But back to my point, you want to choose the one that is going to work for you. But make sure that you're following somebody's credible. Like Chris is credible, I'm credible. Like I'm getting clients. Like you can verify that. But what I'm most bullish on right now at the moment is our cold email reach system. And so yeah, it's a cold emailing system where you just email businesses. Exactly what we're talking about. Like I'm not trying to plug this or anything, but exactly what we're talking about. We have a great way to email people and provide value up front, nurture the relationship, and then turn them into paying customers.
Perfect. I put a link to your group there as well. This is one of the few Facebook groups I don't have on mute. There's some that I want to be in them because the networking, but I don't really care. But this is one that I actually I engage in sometimes. So check that out. The link is not really helpful, but just search on Offline Sharks on Facebook.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so we have a community, Offline Sharks. That's how we started, really. It's a strategy group on getting clients and fulfilling on services. And the reason we're here right now is number one, I've been using Legit for years to purchase our off-page signals, and so for that reason, Chris and I, we're both in the IM space as well, but we have that cross pollination of actually buying his products and services. And so what I said to Chris the other day is we should get in a live show and talk about how we're using Legit to build and grow our agency and how we've been doing it for years and answer questions to anybody that might have any. And so yeah, that's why we're here.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think I actually met you via a live stream I was doing several years ago. So I think
probably
just to remove the point that may be out there. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm going to take one more question, and I think we'll wrap it up because we're going on an hour now. Ryan says, any special offer on that program for us in this chat?
Ryan, we do promotions and stuff from time to time, but I'm not trying to do that right now. Yeah. Sorry, man.
Shooting is shot, as the kids say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a good stopping point. It's been about an hour. I think this was a lot of fun. I think it was very informative for a lot of people. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, yeah, I just echo what you said. I think it's a lot of fun. And, if you guys have more questions on, topics or, now that you've kind of seen a little bit of behind the scenes of our business and my agency, right? I'd be down to come back and share some information with you guys. If there's, you specifically want to go deep on fulfillment, systemizing, creating standard operating procedures, hiring freelancers, prospecting. We can talk about cold email. We can talk about cold calling. I mean, I don't do any I don't do any cold emailing myself. I have people doing cold emailing. I don't do any prospecting. I have an appointment setter. I have a saleswoman.
So let me ask you this then: what do you do? And I'm not implying that you don't do anything, but like, what's your day?
So my job is really keeping my leadership team accountable, like they're accountable to me. So I'm checking in with operations, top managers for project management and account management. I'm also responsible. I mean, my main roles as a CEO are really like the vision of the company, strategic partnerships, and hiring people right now. And what that means is what I just said. Leadership team is responsible to me. I'm making sure team capacity is in check, and if not, then I'm looking for people to bring in. And but yeah, other than that, like everything to do with client getting, production of the services that we sell, and retention and management of clients that we have under management, that's all done by people on my team, and it's all systemized.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. There's a value in that too, in that on the rare occasion when you do have to jump in and talk to a client, it's like, it's a special thing to them. Like it means a lot more because they're not talking to you every day. It's like, it's like a big deal when they get to talk to you. I try to set myself up that way too.
It does. And it's like, and I will use that card on occasion when we have a $5,000 a month client who's asking questions that we might find like in kind of the yellow zone of like, if somebody's asking a lot of questions, like they don't understand the service that we provide for them, our account management team is going to say like, this person is showing those are early indicators for us. And this person is showing early indicators of not understanding what we're doing. We need to jump in and focus our efforts here. And so with that kind of thing, especially with a higher value client, I will jump in and be like, hey, what's going on? And they do feel like they're a little more appreciative that I'm jumping in. But in the beginning, I was the only guy meeting with everybody all the time. And eventually when you can generate some cash flow, you have 5 to 10 residual clients coming in. That is the biggest piece of this. When you have a base of recurring cash flow coming in, you don't need to close every single deal as bad as you did before because you have some security in your business. Yeah. And so that is the first goal for everybody is like, you should try to get as much base in recurring revenue up as possible so that you can make decisions based off of what your business actually needs versus you needing cash flow.
Yeah.
If you need cash flow, you're going to take any client you can get. But if you don't need cash flow, you're going to be able to cherry pick the clients that are going to be the least pain in the ass and that are most likely to succeed with your service. Yeah. But if you don't have cash flow, you're like, I'll take that person. I'll take everybody. I know I'm going to fail, but I'm going to try. And that's a great learning process too. But eventually you want to get out of that and just be able to be picky and choosy. And you do that by generating some cash flow and have a residual base.
Yeah. Great. Well, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Where should people, if they want to learn more from you or get to connect with you, would that be your Facebook group, the best place to go?
Yeah, Facebook group is fine. And, like I said, if you guys have questions or topics, send them to Chris and we can talk about doing that, putting some training together for you guys.
Great. All right. Appreciate it. Everybody, I'll probably be back later this week with another live stream or a video or something. But other than that, I hope everybody enjoyed this. Thank you for sharing your time with us. As I always say, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us. And that will always mean something to me. So thank you. I'll see you again soon. Peace.
See ya.